Well, President Trump is pushing for peace as the war in Ukraine becomes the deadliest European conflict since World War II. Russia invaded and has never left. The president's special envoy, Steve Witkoff, and his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, actually met with Russian President Putin in the Kremlin late yesterday. The talks lasted, we're told, for 5 hours, and both sides agreed not to disclose the substance of the conversation. However, a senior advisor to Putin told reporters this: the conversation was very positive in nature, and contacts will continue. Secretary of State Marco Rubio sat down with Sean Hannity last night.
At the end of the day, it's not up to us. It's not our war. We're not fighting it. They're not American soldiers. It's on another continent. We are engaged because we're the only ones that can. European countries, there's no one else in the world that can do this. The Chinese can't do it. The only leader in the world that can talk to both sides and make a deal of a deal as possible is President Trump.
In focus now, Matt Whitaker, U.S. Ambassador to NATO. Ambassador, everybody is watching this across the world because there's been so much death. Does this signify movement to you?
It does. I mean, I think what you see over the last almost 4 years of war is the sides were not really talking to each other until President Trump decided to roll up his sleeves and go all in and see if there is a deal to be had. But remember, we've talked about this before, Harris, is that both sides are going to have to agree to any deal that is negotiated. And so this back and forth shuttle diplomacy that both Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner are doing, I think is a really good step. But, it's a process. It's not sort of an overnight solution. And so we're going to have to be patient. It's a 4-year almost war. The death and destruction is substantial, but the killing needs to stop. And President Trump, as a peacemaker, is someone that has brought deals to a close, both in business and as president of the United States. I think it's the best person on the globe right now to make this happen. But it takes two to tango. It's going to take both sides to make some significant compromises, and we'll see if we can get there. But, I think there's some optimism right now in the United States, and I think across the globe, that President Trump can get this across the goal line.
Even the president has alluded to the fact that the goalposts tend to move when you're dealing with Putin. Like, it's tremendously difficult to know exactly where he'll land, and it's almost difficult with Zelensky on the other side now in Ukraine. I mean, who wins and who loses in all of this? Your take.
Well, unfortunately, it's the soldiers and civilians that are being slaughtered on the front line. It's difficult to see 25, 30,000 people perish every single month and not just feel it in your gut. But, ultimately, I think all citizens deserve to live free from violence, to live free from war. And I think President Trump is trying to bring that to a close here. He is the only one that can do this. And, he's proven that he has done it before. And so I have a lot of confidence in President Trump. But at the same time, it's going to take all of us in his administration to keep pushing in our unique ways to make sure that both sides can come to an agreement.
Well, and our allies in NATO, too. I want to get to this. The Trump administration is ramping up pressure on European and other allies to restrict mass migration. Speaking of those allies, renewed focus on the issue after that shooting of 2 National Guards members in D.C. raised concerns over migrant vetting, specifically out of Afghanistan. Last month, before the shootings, Secretary of State Marco Rubio ordered American diplomats in Europe, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand to emphasize the dangers of immigration with their host governments, while in Scotland this summer, President Trump tore into European nations for their lax policies.
On immigration, you better get your act together, or you're not going to have Europe anymore. You're allowing it to happen to your countries, and you got to stop this horrible invasion that's happening. Immigration is killing Europe.
What do we do? Do we have partners who think the way we do? And they certainly are dealing with a lot already.
They are, and uncontrolled immigration is obviously a security issue, and it's not just for the United States, but all the allies, including here at NATO. We just had a foreign ministers meeting today where all 32 allies came together, and this was on the table, and both in our multilateral meeting that we had in the big conference room and in our individual meetings with our allies, is that This is not the solution for growth. You need to know who's coming into your country. They need to be vetted, and they need to have your country's interest. They need to integrate and become part of your country. They can't form separate countries within your own country. And I think we've seen a lot of allies that have struggled with that, and they're finally heeding the call. But, we had our own problem just not too long ago with unregulated immigration, with illegal immigration. 20 million people came into our country during Joe Biden's administration. That's unsustainable. And it destabilized not only our own country, but I think the world as a whole. And so we're cleaning up this mess, and our allies need to clean up the mess as well, because it's unsustainable and it leads to massive security challenges.
Look, Ambassador, it reminds me, we've had conversations previously about this. Biden was like-minded. And those countries which saw those failures and continue to from that mass migration, now we're seeing the repercussions because he was like the leaders of those countries on that issue. And it's dangerous. Your last 5 seconds.
Yeah, it's incredibly dangerous, and it makes all of our countries less stable and less successful. And so I'm glad that we're on a different path as we speak today.
Ambassador Whitaker, thank you for being in focus.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.